Okay, here we are at about 15,000 meters. We're falling to the planet's surface. Take this moment to do a quick look around the ship. We have functioning landing gears. Port and starboard marker lights. Access ramp. Okay, so we're approaching 0.8 gravity. When we hit 0.8 G, that's going to trigger atmospheric mode. Like so. The dampeners are off, but these are just the thrusters reacting anyway. These are on a subgrid, and they're still on. This isn't going to be enough to bring us to a stop, so we'll have to turn the dampeners on. And this will bring us to a stop, hopefully. Alright, so we're in regular flight mode. What that means is we only articulate from 45 degrees to 135 degrees, and we have no wing articulation. So the wings stay at the negative 25 degrees that they're at now, and we only go from 45 degrees to 135 degrees. And we have thrust through the whole range of motion. This is going to give you the most stable flight. Alright, so if you go to your first action bar, down will turn on and off the left and right wing articulation. And so, alright, turning it on, and so what this means, your wings will articulate from 45 degrees to negative 45 degrees, triggered by your left and right thruster. But up and forward and reverse have priority the way I have it set up, so kind of but yeah, it gives you just more range of motion for your thrusters, so you can have thrust in obscure directions to help overcome whatever drift or whatever you have. This is kind of for flying around with extra maneuverability or whatever. Okay, so now if we go to the third page on the action bar and trigger the left direction, that'll turn on a timer block that gives you just more attitude adjustment. It's meant for when you roll, and then also when you go forward, it triggers your thrusters back to 0, and then back to 45, just to give you a little bit more forward momentum. It's also meant for like when you roll, it'll kind of give you a twist and more torque back. The upside is when you go back, it pushes your thrusters backwards, all the way back to 0, as opposed to if you didn't have this on, when you went back, they would just go back to the 45 position, which is still fine. But again, you can turn those on and get a little bit more effect, a little bit more forward thrust. The twisting, again, is just for kind of more for effect. I don't know, maybe in some obscure situations it can help. But yeah. Yeah, and so without those on, you know, you get more stable flight. You know, but if you turn them on, you get that extra, you know, up at the beginning of the forward thrust. All right, so we're going to go over here and land, hopefully, just to demonstrate the automatic landing sequence. And we have a camera on the bottom for, you know, our connector and reconnaissance and whatnot. All right, so when we get down ready to land, page 2 or action bar 2 down starts the landing gear sequence. So when you trigger down, it's gonna set your azimuthing thrusters to just stay pointed down, and it's gonna turn off all the azimuthing features so you don't smash into the ground. So now all you have is, you know, up and down on the azimuthing thrusters, and then there's sensors on the bottom so that when you get close to the ground, it turns everything off. This turns on the override control of your gyroscopes, so you're not all bouncing around so much. All right, so we're going to lower the ramp. And we'll go take a look outside. Got wheel suspension for the landing gears. Because everything else I put on here got smashed to bits. Got our marker lights, our search lights, turrets on the bottom, turrets on the top. Rail guns in here, one on the other side, and then our artillery is here, and then a camera on the front, buried in the nose behind multiple layers of glass, 2 thrusters per azimuthing thruster bank, landing gear lights that come on. All right. You can turn your landing gear lights on and off, and then you have day mode and dark mode you can trigger. Here, let's do a quick getaway. You can trigger your landing gear up from here, but you need to be ready to get in the cockpit. Because sometimes the azimuthing thrusters don't trigger like they're supposed to. Like now, usually it works, but you got to make sure you got to hit forward to make sure everything comes back on like it's supposed to. Someone's shooting us. I'm not sure what's going on. Let me get out of here. I don't know where exactly it's coming from or if it's even directed at us. I'm not sure. But I definitely heard a railgun discharge. Oh, and some gunfire. Anyways, let's look around over here to see what exactly might be shooting at us. kind of get some distance first. All right, so I cut some out. I couldn't find what was shooting at me. There's an ore processing facility down here, but it's neutral. All right, so anyways, we can go to page or action bar 4 and push up, and that's going to trigger blast off. And basically, that's just going to set the thrusters to the wings to 45 and the thrusters to point back, and use this to get out the planet's gravity into space. Fast forward here. Take a moment to look around the ship. Here's the bridge. A little medical area. Little relaxation area, jukebox, kitchen. I got the cryo chamber up here. Bed. All our gyroscopes. We have an assembler and a basic refinery. I was not going to put these in here, but I decided to last minute. We have a fusion reactor. A lot of batteries. Probably more than what I need. Got the dunny. Sorry, I've been watching Mr. In Between. Back this way, cryo chamber. Go down the stairs. All our timer blocks. Switches here. We can turn the lights on and off here. Dark mode, day mode. Turn combat mode on and off. Play your music, stop your music. Here we can open the doors, reset the doors. You saw the landing gear up. This will depressurize and pressurize the cabin. The timer, or sorry, the airlock system is just 2 timer blocks. I chose not to use the event controller in air event because whenever the oxygen tanks are full, it tends not to work. So I just went with timer blocks. It just does it. Here you can ramp down, ramp up. This resets the whole system. The door system, that is. You can open the doors, close the doors, depressurize the ship, whatever it is, whatever your needs are. All right, so here we are approaching zero gravity. When we get to zero gravity, it's going to trigger zero gravity mode, like so. In this mode, the wings are at 0. You just have, you basically still have the range, you go from 0 all the way to 180, but your thrusters only 10 are only supposed to trigger, at reverse, up, and forward. Forward being the priority usually. So like they'll only thrust when they get to down, because it turns on a whole different set of event controllers that monitor the rotor range and only turn the trigger thrusters on and off at certain points. So the idea is that you don't get up through your whole range of motion. You only get up when you get to, the 90 position. All right, so you can turn the azimuthine on and off on the 4th page. 5th page is the last action bar, and this will basically turn that on and off. And you have configuration 1, configuration 2, and configuration 3. And so you have no azimuthine effect. These are just fixed positions. You only get thrust on up. And this is if you want to turn off the whole azimuthine effect. And you have 3 configurations, but you could do more. So the left and right articulation do work in space. I didn't get the full effect of what I wanted, but it kind of works. I don't know if there's anybody that is good at this kind of stuff, figuring this stuff out. I don't know. I tried to set like a hierarchy, but a lot of things going on. And yeah, I mean, it works for the most part. This ship has to be piloted. You can't just rely on it doing its own thing automatically. You may have to, fiddle with the throttle a little bit to get it to activate. Forward usually kind of resets the whole azimuthine system. Yeah, thanks for watching. This ship is a lot of fun to build. I plan on doing a cargo ship that has multiple azimuthine thrusters on it. It won't have the left and right articulation in flight, although you will be able to set the wings to different positions, based off whatever your needs are. I got a pretty good idea for it. I think it'll be cool. Yeah, thanks again.